Hey there guys, so today we're going to be doing an emergency light upgrade in the house. We're going to be installing some new emergency lighting in the basement. As many of you would know, I already do have emergency lighting in the house, both on the first and the second floor. However, today we're only going to be worrying about the first floor, as the second floor already has pretty much all the coverage it needs. It gets a lot more light from outside, so power outage in the daytime, it doesn't even need it. And it's a much more open concept, so fewer emergency lights will get the same job done pretty easily. However, the same can't be said about the basement here. And living on the west coast of Canada, where winter storms are a yearly occurrence and power outages are frequent, it's great to have the emergency lighting. Of course, this building here, the garage, has its own backup generator, so that has this building taken care of. The house does not. So having the battery backup emergency lighting is really nice to have, so that you can still move around the house in a power outage without tripping on stuff, not having to get flashlights out. The moment the power goes out, you instantly have backup lighting. It's really nice to have. So let's talk about what we're going to be doing and where we're going to be putting some new fixtures in the basement here. We're going to be focusing on this area of the basement, this corridor here where we have the laundry room, as well as this garage here. First, let's quickly go over what is currently down here in the basement for emergency lighting. In the hallway, we have this small unit that is mounted where the old residential smoke alarms used to be before it was replaced with our commercial system. In my bedroom here, we have this Running Man exit sign emergency light combo unit. And then moving down the hallway into this room here, and our fire alarm room is the last of what we have down here. We have a remote head in this room, and going into the closet that leads to our fire alarm panel, we have this unit in here which feeds the remote head I just went over. And well, that's it for the basement. So there's a couple of areas that are lacking. First being this living room right here does not have much. It does get a little bit of light from that guy, but not a lot. But that's not a priority because it's a living room that really I never use. At the end of the hallway here, this is one of the two hallways in the house and one of the doors leading to outside, and how I get outside quite frequently, and it's a very well trafficked area and it's got nothing down here. So it would be great to have some emergency lighting in here. So we're going to be installing an emergency light remote head in here. We won't be installing the battery pack itself in the hallway here because they're quite big, bulky, and they're a lot more unaesthetically pleasing than just a remote head. But since it needs to be powered off of one, and I'm not about to bring cables all the way down to the other end of the house, we need to get a battery pack in here. So instead of putting it in the hallway here, we are going to put it in the garage. Does this garage absolutely need emergency lighting? No, but we need to power this, so we might as well put a unit in here, and it will give this garage some light. Which is nice in case this garage door has to be manually opened during a power outage, or that any of the 3 freezers in here need to be accessed. So what we're going to do is we are going to put the emergency light up here on this wall and feed through to the remote head in the hallway. So let's go ahead and get all of the material and tools that I think I'm going to need to do this project. Firstly, we're going to need one of these guys here. I bought, I believe, 6 of these originally because they were at Restore, brand new LED units with new batteries, so they were relatively new when they ended up there, and they were only $5 each, so I couldn't pass that up. So this one, obviously, as you can see, is plug-in. Oh, it looks like it's missing the ground pin. Well, we'll have to place the cord end at some point. For now, I'm going to use it. Or you know what? This one back here does still have the ground pin, so I'll use that one. This one's a little bit more beat up, but it doesn't matter. It's ending up in a garage. So this is half of it. Now we need our remote head, which is this guy here. So this is dual 6 volt or 12 volt or 12 volt, sorry, 3 watt heads. So this is a 6 volt battery pack, so this will power off of this just fine. I'm going to do something that is technically illegal here. I'm not going to mount this on a box. I'm not really feeling like drilling a 4-inch hole and either using a pancake box on the stud or putting a entire 1-inch or 1.5-inch deep box in just to splice this. And I don't really want to have an open splice in the wall. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this, because it's long enough, all the way through the wall and directly into the back of this unit. Now, emergency lighting is supposed to have a box, but here's my argument here. It's low voltage, or extra low voltage, I guess in the code it's classified as. It's under 30 volt. And other things that are under 30 volt, if it's non-life safety, like security systems, it does not have to be in a box. So that's the thing with emergency lighting, is technically it is classified as life safety because it's, well, in the name, emergency lighting. However, it's not required in my house, so it's not really being installed in an emergency scenario where it's actually legally required. So I think in that case, because it's extra low voltage, and I'm not even going to make a splice in the wall, I'm going to pull it right through, I think I'm going to let this one slide without a box. Okay, so my plan here is to center it over the light switch. I don't want to center it over the fire alarm pull station because directly over that on this side is this horn strobe. But if we center it with the light switch, it'll be further over here, so I should be able to make that work. Turns out center of the light switch puts us just barely past here. So let's open this up and see whereabouts in here we could drill a knockout if we have to, because the one that comes with this thing is in the center, which isn't an ideal location. Okay, so this is a small battery, so we could drill it over here if it was orientated that way, but we can't because we have the board here. So really, that's not a bad spot, as is, that's about as close as it's going to get. Basically, our hole right there, if we want at least 2 inches of clearance, needs to be 7 inches over from the obstruction, which, if you put that up here, 7 inches lands us just past where you can see this screw, which means that's where another stud is, so that's where we'll drill the hole on the other side. So that ends up giving us 19 inches, so I'll mark out where 19 inches lands us up here, and as far as height, well, I'm not exactly sure how to whatever looks right. So 19 inches over is right here, and I think I'd rather put it up pretty high. Right there works for me. I'm planning to just mount this just like that. So I'm just gonna mark where that needs to go. Except that pencil doesn't reach. Because I was going to use anchors, but now that I think about it, I had to drill through that whole beam, so I actually can just use normal screws. This was giving us so much problem. You can see where the hole is there, but we've got this big brown beam up here. Probably not going to work, but I'm going to try and push these wires through. Then I'm just going to screw this guy into the wall. And there, that did bite into the wood. I could feel it, so that's good. That's what I was going for. Now I'm going to position these two heads how I think they should be. Fortunately, I left that in a terrible spot. I'm going to have to use the stubby screwdriver. No, that's a pain in the ass. We're reversing this thing. So we're going to position this one facing down the hallway, so this will kind of complement the other emergency light that we've already got down there. So if we lock that in, I'd say that angle there, and facing down the hallway like that. That would be good. And for this one, We'll put this pointing towards the exit door over there. So something like that angle is good. That angle and like that. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, and now to mount our unit on the other side here. Okay, so I've got our battery pack here. So this rear knockout, that one, we're going to remove that, as well as each of these screw holes. And I'm going to put this connector onto the back here where our wire will push through here. That will prevent it from shorting on the metal. As you know, I'm not doing a box here, but I think I said earlier my idea is it's low voltage and it's current limited. This would be much easier to push through if it wasn't trying to move every which way on me. Should have drilled this out beforehand because I'm not thinking tonight. Oh, it looks like we were below that top plate actually. Or below this beam. I'm into the top plate. Oh, we're so close to not having to drill all the way through it, but made the wires easy to push through at least. It's not actually level, the wood. So I'll put it true level. Okay, there we go. Now we just gotta wire this thing up. So these blues here, these will be our negatives. So we'll tie these on to our negative terminal in the battery pack here, which is this one here where these whites are coming off. And then our positives here. And then we need to plug our positive into the battery on this guy. This battery needs to be replaced in October 2030. And then our cord here, I'm just going to pull it behind the unit. And cords are allowed for your emergency lighting in Canada. That's a normal thing to see. So we'll plug that guy in. I see the power light came on. And now I'll put the cover on. And I'm going to angle the heads. And boom. So now I know I said emergency lighting can be plugged into a receptacle, and that is true, but what is required for emergency lighting in Canada is it has to be on a circuit without receptacles. It can't be shared with receptacles that aren't for emergency lighting or lighting purposes, but emergency lighting also can't be on its own circuit. Emergency lighting has to either be on with exit signs or on with lighting. It can't just be by itself. But anyways, it's now time for the fun part of testing this. So we're going to turn off all the lights. We'll turn off the lights in here, and I'll turn off the lights here, and we'll turn off all the lights. Okay, I think that's about as dark as we're gonna get it here. All right, let's unplug it. Okay, that's pretty bright. Yeah, that's good. That's lighting it up real good down here. You can see one is aimed down here towards the door. That's giving lots of light. And the other one is aimed down the hallway here, which you can see lights it up all the way to the end. So I bet in a real power outage, when you also have this guy on, that should give pretty good light. And it just died. I guess we need to give it more time to charge up than that. Well, we'll plug it back in here. And let's turn off this light and see how it does in here. Yeah. Lights the garage up good, I'd say. And it's dead again. And it's dead again. Okay. We'll let it charge up. Alright, well guys, that's going to be it for this emergency lighting install. I've got the remote heads and I've got the unit up in there, so I think that does help with this end of the building down here on the first floor. For sure is an upgrade. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave those down in the comment section. And if you do enjoy the channel, make sure to subscribe. Also, if you are interested, I do have an Instagram account at Pickle700 for bonus content, stuff posted earlier than you'd see it on the YouTube channel, that sort of thing. Alright guys, thanks for watching.